Welcome back. Chip Flory, Brian Grete joining us again. Okay, we broke it down state by state. We broke it down and really dug into some of your surprises. But as you look at it holistically, the Pro Farmer Crop Tour this week, Chip, sum it up.
The scouts pulled a record number of samples, 1,710 samples. Last year was a record, and we had like 1,540, something like that. So they did a great job, got out there and gave us a representative sampling of one big cornfield from Nebraska to Ohio and South Dakota to central Illinois. So the summary is that it's like we've talked about all year long, Brian, that we've got two very different growing seasons going this year. We've got the dryness in the West. We've got the very timely and adequate or more than adequate rains in the East. The thing about the West is the timely, we kind of spoon fed the moisture to the crop in the West, and it helped it build that yield. Now, can we hold on to the yield that we built in the Western Belt? A year ago, we couldn't, and there was more moisture available to it a year ago in some areas than what there is this year. So we've got to have rain. We've got to have it now if we're going to hold on to the yield that we did look at.
Yeah, that seemed like the theme all week, but as you kicked it off, the East, I know, Chip, you categorized it perfectly. The first night of Pro Farmer Crop Tour this week. How did you describe the East?
I said the East is a beast.
The East is a beast. So as you saw that, Brian, how do you summarize Pro Farmer Crop Tour and the crops that you saw?
Well, yeah, the consistency I think we saw in Ohio and Indiana, into Illinois. The corn crop was better than the soybean crop in both Ohio and Indiana, in my estimation. It was flipped in Illinois. The soybean crop was better in Illinois than the corn crop. And then in Iowa, I would say eastern Iowa, they were both about the same. They were very inconsistent. So consistency east of the Mississippi River, inconsistency west of the Mississippi River.
Well, we're coming off the latest USDA WASDE report where they gave us a snapshot of demand. But man, China has been coming to this market. Daily sales right now, they are hungry for soybeans. It looks like they may be hungry for corn as well. The crops that you saw, is that going to be enough to keep up with the demand that we have on the books right now, Chip?
The demand that we're seeing from China right now is consistent, and it's nice. It's nice to see that. But this is the time of the year that China needs to be booking that new crop supply. And typically we would be seeing maybe 2 or 3 1 million metric ton sales, not 100,000 metric ton sales happen in a week. So it's nice to see the consistency, but we need to see some bigger sales, some more aggressive sales, or purchases, I should say, some more aggressive purchases from China. And I think it's coming. I don't think there's any question that it's coming. It's just that China is trying to time this thing a little bit.
Well, Brian, if those aggressive purchases do come, and we may not have a record yield in the U.S. this year is what it sounds like, just because of so much inconsistency this year, do we have the crop to meet that demand if they do come in aggressively?
Well, when you look at the balance sheet, there's very little supply side cushion. So, if we take more off the supply and it does come down from where USDA estimated as of August 1, that's even less that there's available to buy without tightening up the balance sheet. So something has to give at some point in time. When you get into these situations like we're in, both for corn and soybeans, you just don't have margin for error. And we don't have margin for error into the end of the growing season. We don't have margin for error on the demand side of things. And that means that the price is going to be the driver. Prices go down, China's going to probably show up and buy along with others. I mean, everything becomes cheaper and they know that the supplies are tight. They're going to book. And that's what we're seeing right now. Price goes up, you're probably going to slow down your demand pace. And that's how the markets work.
All right, Chip, Brian, thank you for everything you did this week, giving us kind of an inside look at this year's crop. We appreciate it. Well, we need to take a quick break right here on U.S. Farm Report, and then we'll be back with much more. That's in 2 minutes.